Hello and welcome to another Murders at Karlov Manor draft. I'm Paul Cheon, and we are continuing our journey to rank 1. Currently, we are sitting at Diamond 4. Draft's about to fire, and so we're going to start facing some stiffer competition. But what better way to defeat the competition than open one of the best rares in the set in Tolsimir Midnight's Light? Now, this is a double rare pack. There's also No Witnesses, which is also a good card. It's a sweeper. It's a wrath. Each player who controls the most creatures investigates, then destroys all creatures. But I'm actually not as big of a fan of this card. Now, sweepers are good, but this gives your opponent a creature. Typically, you want to cast these effects when your opponents have more creatures than you, and the fact that you get to give them a clue is not something I love too much. Meanwhile, Tolsimir is absolutely bananas. 5 mana, you get a 3/2 lifelinker and a 5/5 trampling wolf, and then there's extra text. Whenever wolf you control attacks, if Tolsimir also attacked, target creature an opponent controls has to block the wolf. I mean, do I even have to talk about the commons? I mean, the commons are also not good. But first pick Tolsimir, Midnight's Light. We are passing No Witnesses, but it's okay. We just picked up one of the best rares in the set. All right, moving on here, we have Judith, which is also a very powerful rare. But after taking Tolsimir, I don't want to take that. I'm looking for green and white cards. And the cards that stand out to me are Glintweaver and Tunnel Tipster. And I'm not sure which one I like between the two. I love Tunnel Tipster. Glintweaver is a nice card, but it costs 7 mana. But I think I'm just going to take the Tunnel Tipster. I already have a 5 mana card that I want to ramp into. This deck's going to have a bunch of morphs, and Tunnel Tipster is just one of my favorite 2s. My opinion might change, but I don't want to start my draft with a 5 and a 7 drop necessarily. I don't think the ramp for example, I don't want to play Ramp and Gross. I don't think the ramp strategy is especially good. Because you can't really afford to take a turn off to cast your 2 green Ramp Investigate type card usually. So I think I'd much rather make sure that I have Tunnel Tipster. It's a much harder effect to replace than something like a large giant creature that you can play in your deck. Now this pack is fantastic. There's Novice Inspector, Shock, Cold Case Cracker, Not on My Watch, Exit Specialist, a lot of premium cards. But the best card in the pack is actually the Novice Inspector, and it's in our color. So we're going to take it. And what's funny is the person that we're passing to is probably thinking white's open. They're like, Not on My Watch plus a sweeper. So they're going to be taking a bunch of controlling white cards, which is unfortunate because pack 2 might not be so great. But of course, we're not too unhappy. We have a Novice Inspector in our deck. Moving on here, we have Deadly Complication, which is a great removal spell. Slimy Dual Leech, which also is surprisingly good, just because you have all your decks will just have a ton of 2-power creatures, so it's really good in an aggressively slanted deck. Love this in black-white or black-red. Out Cold is a great card to play in any blue-based tempo deck. But for us, it's just Auspicious Arrival. Rubble Belt Maverick is also okay, but these combat tricks are so pushed, they're so great. And if I'm green-white, I'm going to have a ton of creatures, and Auspicious Arrival is perfect. That little change from typically, which is 1 in a white, target creature gets +2/+2, and changing that from +2/+2 to Investigate, night and day. Night and day in terms of how good that card can be. And here I'm happy taking another Auspicious Arrival. The only other cards to consider out of this pack are Projector Inspector, which is great in the detective deck, and then there's also Red Herring. Now, but I think I still want to try my best to be green-white if possible. So I'm going to take the Auspicious Arrival because it's still going to be good in my detectives deck. But somehow, if the next pack there's a Private Eye, sure, I'll take the Private Eye. But right now, I'm going to take the Auspicious Arrival and see how things go. And now we have, it looks like green is kind of getting cut off here. So the best card in this pack is Detective Satchel. But that would be such a far departure from everything that we have going on right now that I don't know that I want to take that card, right? It's just double off color. So if I don't want to take that, and I don't really care for They Went This Way, what do I take? Do I take a blue card or do I take a red card? I think red-white is a better color combination, and the Red Herring is actually okay in aggro. So because I think it's the best color combination, I will take the Red Herring out of a pretty underwhelming pack because I really dislike They Went This Way as a card. Moving on, we have Museum Nightwatch, just a great creature to play in my white deck. Certainly getting some decent white cards, but Still trying to figure out what my second color is, but look, if our deck is mostly white cards with a Tunnel Tipster and a Tolsimir, I am totally fine with that. Because you know what that means? We have a Tolsimir in our deck. Here we got a late Topiary Panther, pretty happy with that. That gives us outs to potentially splashing, and changed my mind. Changed my mind totally. My mind blanked because I didn't expect to see an 8th pick Market Watch Phantom. I'm going to take the Market Watch Phantom over the Topiary Panther. This is a premium 2-drop to play in your decks. And now I'm happy with an on the job. We have the Combat Trick Market cornered here with on the job and double Auspicious Arrival. We have a Tunnel Tipster and a Tolsimir. So really, really solid start, even though it does look like green is not the most open. I'll take a Hedge Whisperer here, although I'm not the biggest fan of the card. Burden of Guilt. Is this good? I don't really like playing Rope, so I guess I'll take it. And let's take Insidious Roots. And yeah, we have more than enough playables. I think we have probably a little too much on the Combat Trek end of the spectrum. But we're green and white. We'll get creatures. It'll be fine. We are lacking in removal. So I think I will take this Bite Down on Crime instead of just looking to delve in another color in a card like Kellen. Just because I think our mana fixing isn't quite there. And we already have enough power in our 2 colors where we don't really need to go into a third. So let's take Bite Down on Crime as just something for our deck. And move on. And take a look at this pack. So here we have Commercial District, which is just a Surveil land that I can play. I'm not really looking to splash red, but it is something that I can just put in my deck. I don't think I want Get a Leg Up just because I already have so many combat tricks. But then again, Museum Nightwatch is just a great creature to play. It's another morph. It's something to ramp into on turn 4 with the Tunnel Tipster. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the Nightwatch here over the red-green land. If I wanted to... All the Yarises! Oh, maybe I should have taken the red-green land and tried to splash this. But we didn't take the red-green land. We could have taken some... we could have taken a tap land. But we took a rare. We took Case of the Locked Hothouse there. But I think Case of the Trampled Garden will be pretty good here. So I'm going to take that. I've been reasonably impressed with this card. So I'll take this and just be sad that we're passing Yaris. And then now we get, of course, another red fixing land. So this Yaris would have been almost totally free. But it's okay. It's okay. Case of the Gateway Express is also fantastic. It's just a really, really good card to play. And this makes it so that I'm pretty sure now I'm playing the Case File Auditor. Because we have Case of the Gateway Express, Makeshift Binding, Case of the Trampled Garden, we have all the cases. And a Killer Among Us. Okay, yeah, this Case File Auditor is looking great here. Moving on, we have... I think I just care about Mana Acceleration at this point, so I think I just take another Tunnel Tipster here. This is not really a Seasoned Consultant deck. Topiary Panther's okay. If I was splashing, I would maybe consider something, but I'm just going to take triple Tunnel Tipster and see what happens if I just take all the tipsters, right? Just all of them. That's a super late Private Eye, which is a little sad, but we can't take it. So for us, it's between Vigilante and Absolving Lammasu, and I actually think I prefer the Vigilante. This card has just kind of overperformed for me in general. There's just a ton of little things that you can pump, so I'll take the Vigilante. And with triple Tunnel Tipster, we do want to have some expensive things to ramp into, so I'll take it. Here I'll take another 2-drop in the Seasoned Consultant. Oh, Makeshift Binding this late? 8th pick? That is wild. That is absolutely wild. Alright, we're going to have to make some cuts here. We're going to have to make some cuts. Oh my goodness. Let's take... I just don't see us playing this card. I mean... Do we need a Crocodile? We do have triple Tunnel Tipster. I think triple Tunnel Tipster makes me want to play a few more morphs just so that this can grow. And Tunnel Tipster goes well with the face down cards just because you'll get all the mana. But wow, blue-white seemed like it was open. Projector Inspector with 2 cards left in the pack. I mean, we were definitely fighting for green, but it was one of those things where we really just wanted to make Tolsimir work. And hopefully it ends up being worth it for us. But I like what this deck is trying to do. We have quite a few cards that we need to cut. Let's see. 7 cards. But I think everything will be okay. We can play 9 forests and see what we can remove out of this deck. We're going to have to cut a lot of spells. The problem is a lot of these spells want us to play lots of creatures, right? Case of the Trampled Garden wants lots of creatures in play. Case of the Gateway Express wants lots of creatures in play. On the Job wants lots of creatures in play. So I think let's just start cutting some of these spells. Now, of course, a Killer Among Us counts as a creature. We can put these in the 3-mana slot. The Griffknot Tracker is something that we can definitely cut. We can cut the Inspector, as I think that's the worst of the options. I want to play all the morphs that we have if possible to go with the 3 Tunnel Tipsters. And now we are looking at 9 spells, and we still need to cut a couple more cards. Can probably shave 1 Vigilante, maybe both. Maybe both, just because we want to have all the cheap stuff. Honestly, we can probably cut a Forest because we have triple Tunnel Tipster. That just gives us 3 additional mana sources in our deck. So I think this looks okay. I do feel like we probably aren't aggressive enough of a deck when we're playing cards like the Case File Auditor and Triple Tunnel Tipster. This is a little bit more on the mid-range end of the spectrum. So I think, for example, a Go Wide Pump spell is maybe not at its best here. 12. And we have and so many cards rely on us to have creatures, right? I think Case of the Trampled Garden is probably not ideal in this style of deck. I think I would like basically more aggressively slanted cards and, more Market Watch Phantoms, cards of that nature. So I don't know that this is the best card for this deck. And I think I just want another creature to ramp into. And I think also with Tunnel Tipster, you want to have some 4s, especially with 3 of them. So in general, I don't think Griffknot Tracker is particularly strong. But because we, number one, have a need for probably 1 more creature, just based on all the other cards that we have, cards like Bite Down on Crime or Case of the Gateway Express, etc., I'm going to go with a Griffknot Tracker just so I have an extra 4-mana card to play off the Tunnel Tipster here. The Vigilante is a stronger card. On a Job is a higher win rate card. But this deck seems like it wants a card like Auspicious Arrival more than it does a card like On the Job, with the exception of whenever I draw something like a Killer Among Us. Like if I had Inside Source or just some other extra ways to make tokens, I would probably want to play an On the Job, but this deck feels more like an Auspicious Arrival deck than anything. So let's try this. Seems like a solid green-white deck that also happens to have Tolsimir and a Killer Among Us at the top end of the curve. If we get flooded, we also have a card like Case of the Locked Hothouse, which I'm hoping does some extra work. It's a little bit weird that we have 16 lands to go with it, but let's still try. Let's still try. Maybe we'll just generate some clues and be able to still turn it on that way. Okay, what do we have? Well, there's that Griffknot Tracker that we added at the end. It's a turn 3 Griffknot Tracker. I hope that ends up being good for us. Turn 2 Tunnel Tipster into turn 3 Tracker. Let's take the 2 from the Repeat Offender, because we want to play a big Ooh. Case File Auditor is interesting here, actually, because our opponent just went 2-drop into face down card. So I think I'm more interested in Case File Auditor here, just because it's a body that blocks Repeat Offender. Man, we missed. We have so many enchantments in our deck. That is one reason to play the green case, but like I said before, I don't know that we're aggressive enough for the green case to be good. And now we have enough mana where I'm happy enough just trading Tunnel Tipster for the Repeat Offender that's in play if our opponent kills the Case File Auditor. Okay, so they played their own Griffknot Tracker. They can't really attack us. And now we can play Haz the Vigilante. That seems like a way better option, just uses our mana better. And we'll take 3 from the tracker, but now we're just going to have an awesome board. I'm going to pump the case file auditor. So now we have a 2/5 and a 4/4 in play, which is great. The next turn we have access to 6 mana, so we can play tracker plus tipster, or tipster plus makeshift binding, depending on what our opponents choose to play. Tracker getting in, we're down to 15. They have 4 cards. They have a face down card in play. Could be anything. No point really trying to guess what that is. It looks like they're using a removal spell. Sack a creature. All right, well, I'll just sack Tunnel Tipster here. We don't need the mana. They didn't escape or cast evidence there. Ooh, but Leering Onlooker, very, very nice. So has the Vigilante pumps a creature with power 2 or less. I see. I think I'm interested in running out the Griffnut Tracker here. I don't want to attack with the Case File Auditor. Do I want to attack with Has the Vigilante? If they triple block, I can kill Repeat Offender and a face down card. I think that's worth it. So what I'm going to do is play Novice Inspector because I want that to get pumped. Because I want a second 2-power creature. Attack. Target my Novice Inspector. And see how they block. They took it all, which is expected. And then now we'll play our tracker. And if they kill our tracker, yes, they get to get in for 4 damage, but we still have nice creatures on the ground to block with. So their Repeat Offender and their face down card can't really get in. And they are targeting our creature, so Griffnut Tracker has been murdered. So we're kind of in a somewhat of a racing situation. But hey, I don't mind it so much. We get to attack with Has the Vigilante this turn and pump, I suppose, the Novice Inspector? And then what do they do? I mean, whichever creature they double block, it's just not going to be great for them. So yeah, they take the 7. We play Market Watch Phantom, and then we just exile the Griffnut Tracker and gain 2 life. This Vigilante has put 3 counters on creatures. So this thing looks like it's not that strong, but it's a 5 mana 4/4 that's put 3 so it's been a 5 mana 7/7 for us so far. Snarling Gorehound from the opponent and a Neighborhood Guardian. So they're going for the Surveil here because now they can't really attack us. If they want to attack us, that would be an aggressive attack. Ooh, and a Crocodile. Okay. So we can face down the Crocodile. We can play the Tunnel Tipster. By playing the Tunnel Tipster, the Market Watch Phantom gets flying. I'm wondering, though, at this point, do we have decent attacks? I feel like we do. We're at 13. So let's start with the Tunnel Tipster. Give the Market Watch Phantom flying. They're at 9. All right. Let's get aggressive. I think they're going to be able to line up some favorable blocks, but we're going to be playing a Tunnel Tipster here and a face down Crocodile, which is, we're adding 4 more power to the battlefield. And so, at the very least, a creature will be trading for something else. The Vigilante, there's just no great blocks. He's going to lose at least 2 creatures to kill the Vigilante. And here I want to kill the face down card over the Neighborhood Guardian because we're the aggressor. We don't really care about the Guardian, whereas the face down card could be a lot stronger, I believe. And we have a 3/3 Market Watch Phantom. Yeah, this is just a lot that our opponent has to deal with right now. Now the +2/+1 spell would be nice. This is a spot where... Oh, what do I want to kill, actually? I can kill exactly 2 things. I probably want to kill the 2 creatures with the highest combat stats, which is the Repeat Offender and the Leering Onlooker. But the Leering Onlooker does give our opponent... Actually, I'm going to keep the Leering Onlooker in play. I don't want them to be able to make the 1/1s. So let's just do this. Let's kill the face down card. Yeah. Let's play a face down card here. And we have a board. All right, beat downs. Beat downs. Actually, that was an interesting game because they kind of started out aggressive, and we were able to kind of slowly turn things around just by playing that Haas the Vigilante, where sure they got to get in for 3 in the air or what have you, but we were just able to establish such a more dominant board position with the power of that Vigilante that we were able to turn that around pretty quickly, like in 2 turns. Okay, look, anytime you have Plains Novice Inspector with 2 lands, you got to keep it, right? If we miss, we can still crack the clue. Next turn we play probably the Case File Auditor. But we'll see what we draw. Ooh, Tolsimir. Hello, friend. I can also play Museum Night Watch. As a face down card. No, I'm just going to play the Case File Auditor. Wow. Look at all those goodies. Well, I don't think I'm taking Case of the Locked Hothouse just because we're pretty far away from getting there. Killer Among Us is good, but I think we're going to be able to use this Case of the Gateway Express. So I want to use that for value because keep in mind, when you solve a case, it triggers again. So I think for that reason alone, it's worth it. We can't cast the case just yet, though. I mean, we can kill this face down card. But for me, I'm wondering if I should play the Griffknot Tracker or the Tipster. I think I want to go with the Flyer here. This allows us to potentially cast. Oh my gosh, Hide in Plain Sight is a complete beating. But so is Tolsimir. So why don't we play Tolsimir? Here we go. There it is. Good luck. We have Tolsimir in play with Case of the Gateway Express and Bite Down and Crime as options. But all these removal spells look a little bit awkward with 3 face down cards in play. But we have a Tolsimir in play. What are they even going to do? What can they do? I suppose if they just pass... that's a little bit interesting. Unclear what we want to do then. Oh, flip up Tin Street Gossip. Attack with 1 red up? I'm kind of incentivized to block this. They probably have what? Shock? Felonious Rage? That's basically a 2-for-1? Yeah, I'm blocking. There's no combat trick that blows me out here. That's completely fine. That was like a yeah, I mean that was like a 2-for-1. Yeah, this is going to be great. Now we get to go Case of the Gateway Express and flip it this turn. Take 4. I mean, I guess I could have played the Tipster as well. Attack. Solve the case. And then get another trigger from the Auditor. Miss. And red-green doesn't really have a sweeper, so not too worried about that. We have a Bite Down on Crime, which will almost assuredly kill something here. And they're at 7. Okay. Good game. Green white getting it done. Green white getting it done. That is a one interesting thing that for this format in particular. I think there's a lot of instances. There's a lot of limited formats where green white is typically not as strong, only because fundamentally green and white just don't have as good removal as a lot of the other colors. And good limited decks, at least historically, what has been defined by making sure that your deck has answers to bombs. And green white typically isn't good with that. In this format, though, removal is worse because of the existence of all the morphs, and it's all about creature combat, right? And what color combination is the king of creature combat? Well, green-white's up there, right? It's green-white, red-white. So I think in this format, green-white is definitely better positioned than it would be in other formats. Hey, we are playing against the endgame boss here. We are playing Numot, I believe. Or is he Numot the Nummy? I'm not actually sure. Assemble the players. Excellent, excellent card here. We're going to go with Tunnel Tipster because that allows us to double spell next turn. Next turn, we can go Tunnel Tipster plus Market Watch Phantom. Oh, now we can go double... Huh. Now we can go... Well, certainly Market Watch Phantom. It's just whether or not we go Tunnel Tipster or Season Consultant. I'm still just going to play another Tunnel Tipster. I don't think I'm attacking with a Tipster next turn, so... I guess we could be, actually. Yeah. No, yeah, I should have... I missed 2 points of damage. Yeah, I missed 2 points of damage. Because I had the Case of the Gateway Express, so... Well, we'll kill the Cracker. And attack with everything. And we'll flip the case, but we're a little bit flooded here. We have a decent board, but we don't have a good follow-up. But we do have the ability to just attack with everything, which is nice. Ooh, Bite Down on Crime is interesting. I don't know that I want to kill it. I think I'd rather just attack with everything. Alright, what do you do? They might have the Gargoyle. I'm really hoping that he doesn't have the -2/-0 combat trick. Okay. We can Bite Down on Crime next turn. He's at 8. And pay for the ward cost on the face down card. But it, of course, just depends on what he chooses to play. Wow, attacking us. Oh, is this an out cold? This feels like an out cold. Lost in the Maze. Interesting. What does this say? Tap creatures you control have hexproof. So this thing has hexproof? Yeah, okay. And we drew a land there. That was really rough. Okay, Griffknot Tracker. They have 2 mana up. And Perimeter Enforcer. Ooh, which one of those do I want to kill? Probably just the biggest creature. I mean, he's down to not much here, right? So let's go ahead and play Bite Down on... let's see. He has 1 mana up. Cast this with Disguise. Yeah, let's kill the flyer. Okay. And the Tunnel Tipster grows. So we have a pretty good board here still. He's at 14. And we get to flip over the Undercover Crocodile, which is nice. Why does our creature have... Oh, from the Crocodile, of course. I don't really think I have any other plays here, so this is the... Okay. Museum Night Watch, sure. They get a 2/2. They only have a 2/2 in play, and we can just pass. We need him to kind of whiff here. Well, he never hit. He never hit with that assemble the players. That is pretty unlucky. That is pretty unlucky. All right, 3-0. Nummy down. Nummy down. Okay, 3-0. Got back up to diamond 3. We are on the play. You know what this hand needs? This hand needs a tunnel tipster. Why do we get a tunnel tipster off the top? Snarling Gorehound. That is not a tipster. But at least we're on the play. We can face down Undercover Crocodile. We have Tolsimir in hand, which is exciting. So kind of on the survive until that happens plan. Our opponent went turn 1 Snarling Gorehound into turn 2 Red Herring. So that's a really, really fast start. I'm very grateful that I'm on the play here. And now I have the option between Undercover Crocodile versus Case File Auditor. Now, Undercover Crocodile... Oh, wow, English. Undercover Crocodile can get shocked. Case File Auditor cannot. Huh. Case File Auditor will also allow me to find some extra things. No, I think I look, if they have shock, they have shock. That Red Herring has to attack every turn. If they shock, they probably don't have a follow-up. Or they definitely don't have a follow-up. And I think I'm okay with that. Okay, Unscrupulous Agent. I will discard Griffknot Tracker. I'd rather just face down the Crowd Control Warden if given the option. And I also think the Case File Auditor against an opponent this aggressive is going to be better. Let's play the Case File Auditor, see if we can find an enchantment. Missed. Story of my life. Maybe I should play that 2 and a green enchantment. Oh, I really dislike this card, by the way. I think maybe it has it probably has a home in red-black aggro, but I just think in general this card is not very strong. Wow, they hit the Phoenix. Wait, they put it in the graveyard? Okay. All right, well, they can't block me. So let's attack. Because we're playing Tolsimir. I think that's better than just running out Crowd Control Warden. Look, they could have a removal spell, that's fine. If they kill my 5/5 Wolf, I still have a 3/2 lifelinker in play. And right now, I really want to get their life total low, so they can't win off the card advantage from the Barb Servitor. Servitor? And then we're just going to start jamming Crowd Control Wardens and hope for the best. That's the green-white way. I'm going to play my dinosaur and hope my dinosaur wins. Double Phoenix? Wow. Okay, let's see here. When it dies, you may exile it and collect evidence 4. If you do, return it tapped. Wow. So this can just eat this. Wait, whenever wolf you control attacks, a Tolsimir attacks, target creature and opponent control blocks that wolf this combat if able. I see. I mean, I don't think we have much of a choice. We'll just play this first. Let's attack. Let's have the Phoenix block the Wolf. So the Phoenix blocks the Wolf. They have to put the Repeat Offender also on the Wolf. And then the question is whether or not they want to put something in front of Tolsimir. They can put the other 2 creatures in front of Tolsimir, but at least they're still going to have to deal with this 7/7 Crowd Control Warden. Played it pre-combat just because I was planning on attacking with Tolsimir anyways. Might as well force the Collect Evidence part here. But yeah, double Lamplight Phoenix is nice. They have some nice 4-mana rares. And we are racing. We are racing. No blocks. The problem is these other creatures don't trample. The nice thing is I can just keep attacking with Crowd Control Warden. And they don't really have great blocks. I don't think I want to attack with Tolsimir here, though, and trade with the Phoenix. Do I have a way to get this trample? Alright, so they blocked with the Phoenix again, and they're going to get it back. Now, because I have so much mana, I think I'm going to face down the Crowd Control Warden. Because I can play the Tipster and have that grow too. And then I'll just play this land too, because they have cards like Unscrupulous Agent. And sure, they have a nice board here. But I could have also double blocked. Oh, I should be... What am I doing? Yeah. No, that was a big mistake. I need to be double blocking here. Because I would take 4, but I'll gain 3. So I shouldn't be giving them the extra card. This is me just like fumbling around and not playing against the rares properly. So that is my fault. Wow, this Phoenix is really annoying. What do we do here? The problem is I need the 5 mana to flip this over. And if I choose to do that... then... Yeah, this is a tough spot. Do I want to solve this case? That does get me another look with the case file auditor. Maybe I do just kill this Phoenix. No, I'm just going to hold it. Let's just attack like this. I should have double blocked the Servitor. Let's see how they choose to block here. Okay. All right. So now the Phoenix is going to come back in. And we can kill the Phoenix once. We can kill the Phoenix for good. Okay? Let's kill the Phoenix for good. I don't want to deal with you anymore. Get out. Oh, I also gained life off the Tolsimir. Anyways, let's block properly here on the Servitor. Oh, jeez. Well, that changes things. Oh, it's a blocker now. Nice. So now they have a 2/2 indestructible blocker that they probably don't want to attack with. Interesting. Wow, that was a phenomenal card there. Now I just can't even attack, and I need to find a way to exile this. And they have 4 face down cards that they're gonna slowly face up over the course of the next few turns. Okay. Not looking good anymore for us. And they get to attack for 4 in the air. Okay. So we need to find a way to exile the Barb Servitor. We are at 13. Okay, Codebreaker 2. Wow, they have some nice face down cards. Okay, that's definitely not what we wanted. So the reason why I didn't attack with a bunch of creatures is... Oh, goodness. Okay. This one is probably going to be a loss. Good removal. Black-red typically pretty good against green-white. Needed to definitely double lock this one turn, but now they're too far ahead on cards and resources. We have that green enchant. That was literally the card I was thinking about. But it's not solved until next turn. Oh no, it does get solved. Well, as long as we're not dead this turn, we might have a chance. Okay, we hit Makeshift Binding. All right. I think we're just dead here, though. But Tolsimir does have lifelink. But they're going to start flipping over a bunch of these creatures. Okay, Shady Informant. Oh, man. Okay. Yep. Oh, I take 3. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So if there's a 2-power creature I want to block, it's there. And then I want to keep the Shady Informant alive. Let's trade with the Alley Assailant. Then let's block the Morph. I take 4, 5. I think I'm just dead here, right? 4, 8. Yeah, I believe I'm just dead. Maybe this blocks the 3/3. I take the damage here. And this blocks here. This blocks here. And then we take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I think we die no matter what, sadly. All right. We almost stabilized. I think had we played a little bit tighter, we might have been given one extra turn to try to go off there. So that one is definitely on us, where we had at least the 1 turn to double block the 4-mana 1/1. Still love our deck. Still 3-1. Still can get the 7 wins. Okay. We even played Tolsimir. Come on. I played my rare. You gotta let me win the games where I play my rare, right? Slime. Oh, are we playing against a Slime Against Humanity deck? Oh my goodness. How many slimes do they have? I have not played one yet. Do they have Trample? No. Okay. What is this? Okay, so they are ready to collect some evidence. Okay, there are 3 colors. Then we have, I guess, just face down card is something that we want. Oh, there is. There's the first Slime Against Humanity. That's a 3/3. Man. Do I Makeshift Binding that? Or am I worried about a future Slime Against Humanity? I'll just wait for now. Probably have to take the 3 here. They're just representing combat tricks, so Okay, well now I see. I think they have... Oh, they don't have a combat trick, so that's good. They do not have a combat trick. Gosh, missing a land drop here is brutal, though. But it looked like they didn't have a combat trick at least, so we can just keep playing face down cards. And I think if they had a combat trick, they would have attacked us. So the way I want to play this now is assume that they don't have one. And kind of play it that way. Do I want to trade one? No, I can just take 2 here. Both of these are pretty nice. A Killer Among Us. Okay. Well, now we have to deal with a 4/4 Death Toucher, and we just can't find another land. Ugh. I'm going to just pass here and keep up Auspicious Arrival. And see what they do. At this point, probably going to want to use the Makeshift Binding on the creature that becomes a 4/4. Okay, so that's going to be a 4/4. Does it have Death Touch? Okay, it's a 4/4 with Death Touch. I mean, I can just trade for the whole world. Blocks. I mean, we can just do this and just deal with this later. Now that we're at 17, probably just put this here. All right. They just passed. Yeah, let's just turn this face up. Oh, I should have double blocked with the Inspector and taken 1 less damage. Izoni? Well, they hit their land drops and they played their rare. I think we're in trouble here, folks. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Menace and Reach. That's obnoxious. All right, let's. What is this to say? Sack 4 tokens, surveil 2, then draw 2. Okay, well, let's kill that. They can sack 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess. Oh man, this is brutal. Their deck looks kind of sweet. How many Slimes Against Humanity do you need before you play them in your deck? 5? 4? These menace creatures are a problem. So we go to 8. There's a Panther. We got to kill that. Yeah, we're just so far behind on board here. We can kill the Panther and then we take 4. I guess that's the play. I could have tried to sack a clue to try to draw a land there. We take 4. I mean, the only hope is if our opponent just has all lands in hand, but they've been kind of playing something big every single turn. So I think we're mega dead. Yeah, they went land number 6 to Zoni, so. We go to 4, and I think this is going to kill us. Izoni is a heck of a magic card. So let's say we use Makeshift Binding here. We go up to 6. We block here, and then we die. Okay. We started off strong, but now we've fumbled a little bit. 3 and 2. Let's at least get win number 4. At least get win number 4. I think this is at least a 4-win deck, but sometimes you get Izoni'd. It's okay. All right, what do we have here? We have Plains Novice Inspector, so we have to keep. Although this is kind of a clunky hand, but I believe we're on the draw. We have a 1-drop. We can crack the clue. Then we have a Morph and some Force to play. This will be okay. Tunnel Tipster would be fantastic. Do you see why I take the Tipster so high, though? It's just every hand, I'm just like, I wish I had a Tipster. What did they do? Crashing Footfalls? What? We're gonna die to that thing. Oh my gosh. All right, don't do this to us. Arena? Okay. Whew. All right. Well, regardless, this Crashing Footfalls, I mean, how do we beat 2 4/4 tramples? Who thought it was a good idea to bring this one in? Sure. Sure. Yeah, fantastic curve here from the Postman, and no land for us, unfortunately. So we will just have to play this face down and pass. And yeah, I don't think we're going to defeat the Footfalls here, sadly. That's an aggressive attack. Huh. Yeah. All right. Really nice curvy start for them. And for us, I think it's going to be the end of the road, sadly. End of the road, sadly. We are going to be facing... Look, I thought this is. I thought we only run into this in Modern. What's it doing in this format? Can somebody explain to me why Crashing Footfall? Like, what is there? Is it supposed to synergize in any way with anything? Like Maverick Thopterist, I love, but Crashing Footfalls, I don't know. Oh, 1 mana make 2 8/8s. 1 mana make 2 8/8s. Sheesh. I mean, they probably have a combat trick here too, right? They're attacking with the doggos. Probably Auspicious Arrival. But we're not in a position to play around anything. We're just blocking. Okay. Well, you see, the thing is 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, here's my plan. Hear me out, okay? I'm going to block a Rhino. Oh my gosh. Our opponent doing their due diligence. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, we go to 1. Oh no, we don't. We have to block here. 4, 8, 9, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, they got us. We started out so strong, but we lost to some rares. We lost to Crashing Footfalls. We lost to Izoni. Could have hit some land drops there. Fortunately, we still managed to stay in Diamond Tier 3, but not the result that I wanted. I think against the Rakdos player, I could have There was at least one turn where I could have double blocked the Barb Servitor, and maybe that would have allowed us to get back in the game with Case of the Locked Hothouse if I had an extra turn. But all in all, I thought this deck was decent. I didn't think it was ridiculously powerful, but I thought it was capable of 4 or 5 wins. We had a decent curve, we had some combat tricks, we had removal, right? Double Makeshift Binding plus double Bite Down on Crime. We had a bomb in Tolsimir. We had a decent curve. We also had Killer Among Us, which is quite good. Tunnel Tipster, which allows us to kind of ramp into some of the late game cards. And the Case File Auditor actually had a decent number of targets here. We had 4 different enchantments to get with the Auditor, potentially even 5 if we chose to play the Trampled Garden, but I just didn't think our deck was aggressive enough for that. I think maybe I could have mulliganed a little more aggressively. But the thing is, I don't know if that changes the results of some of those games. I kept 2 and 3 land hands. Keeping a 2-land hand with a Novice Inspector, I think you should almost always do that anyways. We just couldn't find more. We couldn't string together more lands. And then we got Crashing Footfalls. Then we got Izonied. And then the Rakdos player, the game just kind of went long. And then they just kind of overwhelmed us with card advantage. So that is kind of what, that happens. That's part of Magic. But I think I was overall reasonably happy with this. I will say that green may not have been the most open color in this draft. And definitely us opening Tolsimir kind of pushed us in that direction. I think despite that, we did end up with decent green cards. We had a Killer Among Us with triple Tunnel Tipster and a couple of Bite Down on Crime. So we had enough because white was so open in the draft. So I don't think it was more... I think maybe we could have gone a different color combination. Maybe blue-white would have been a little bit better. But of course, then you're abandoning Tolsimir, which is top 5 rare in the set. And that's a really tough thing to do in Limited. So 3 and 3, not ideal, but solid green-white aggro deck. I think this deck definitely underperformed relative to the power level of the cards that we had. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to hit the like or subscribe button for more videos just like this. I'll catch you tomorrow.